I'm just now starting to film this video and my battery's already dying, so we're going to actually see if we can get through this video before the battery dies. This is, as you can't already tell, if you can't already tell, this is going to be the Explorer's Bible Study Book of Revelation video. You can tell it's been a while since I filmed one of these because I don't even know what they're called anymore. This is going to be on lesson 28. This is the next to the last lesson of this book. Lesson 29 will be the last lesson, and I am very heavily considering doing a review video. So that's going to be a very in-depth video because, at least for me to prepare, because it's going to be like a quick, brief summary of everything that we have talked about, just to kind of sum everything up so that you can kind of get all of the meat from one video. So for this lesson, for this video, we're looking at lesson 28. And in that lesson, we cover Revelation chapter 20. In Revelation chapter 20, I have notes and verses and everything. So in Revelation chapter 20, the first 10 verses talk about a period of 1,000 years that is to occur after Jesus returns. Jesus returns to the earth. He locks Satan up in the abyss for 1,000 years. So Satan is not able to influence the world with sin or anything like that. And for those 1,000 years, Jesus reigns on earth with his believers. And the people that he is going to reign with will be those who have already passed on, that he is going to resurrect to live in this world. I do believe that the resurrected people will have like resurrected bodies, like spiritual bodies, and then the people that are already on the earth, who are the people who have survived the tribulation but did not accept the mark of the beast, I believe, they're going to have like human bodies. I think I'm saying this right, I think. Okay, so during that 1,000 years, the world is going to be a completely different place. There will be no war, no violence. People will enjoy the work that they do. Crops will prosper. It sounds like a Garden of Eden. Except that sin will still be in the world. It won't be in the world influenced by the devil, so there probably won't be as much sin. And the will to sin may not be as strong. But we as humans are still going to have a sinful nature, and we are still going to long, for our selfish ways. And of course, there will still be sin. So during the 1,000 years, people will continue to marry and have children and work and everything just like normal. And at the end of the 1,000 years, Satan is going to be released. He's going to be released not only to be judged by God, but to also try to influence the world. The people in the world that he will try to influence will be the children of the saints, and the saints meaning the people that are already believers, the adults that are already believers. And the reason he's going to try to influence the children is because they will be the ones who don't already believe, who are going to be born, and then they can choose whether or not they believe. There's still going to be rebellion against God, as far as just people not believing in him. And then Satan, when he is released, he will of course try to influence those people to come to his side. I think he will gather up an army and try to go to war against God, and then at that point, when he tries to go to war against God, God will lock him away into the pits of hell forever. Okay, so let me make sure that I didn't miss any notes, because I've pretty much covered the entire lesson, but not 100% yet. I wanted to mention some things to you. Let's see. There are some verses that we went over in our lesson that describe what the 1,000 years will be like, and I actually wanted to read through those with you. These are going to be verses from the Old Testament, from prophets of the Old Testament. And those, I'm just going to read off those verses really quick. I'm not going to read through them, but those verses are found in Isaiah 2, 1 through 4, Isaiah 9, 6 and 7, Isaiah 11, 9, Isaiah 35, 1 and 2, and Isaiah 65, 20 through 25. Then we have Jeremiah 31, 31 through 34, and Amos 9, 13. So I'm going to list those in the description box if you want to look those up and read them on your own. Those are going to be information about the 1,000 years from the prophets of the Old Testament. I wanted to discuss one other thing, which covers verses 11 through 15 of chapter 20, which is the remainder of that chapter. One thing, it talks about judgment in those last 4 verses. So the first thing that I wanted to say was that this is something that I've personally known growing up because I've been told time and time again, but the book made it a point to mention this, so I'm going to mention it to you. And that is this. It says here, "The fires of hell do not burn up their victims. If that were so, after a terrible moment, the judged ones would cease to exist. Hell is worse than that. The ungodly person never dies, but instead suffers forever." That's something that I've been taught growing up, that when you are sent to hell, if you are sent to hell, you burn for eternity, for as long as the world will remain in existence through God, which is forever, because, you know, that's the point, that's the whole goal. And that's something that's pretty scary. I'm not sure if people have not, I don't know if there are people out there who don't understand that, but I'm sure there are. So that is one point that I wanted to make, because the book made the point, and it made me realize that some people may not actually know that. And then I wanted to mention 3 viewpoints before I get back to the judgment. There are 3 viewpoints that are believed about the 1,000-year period that is mentioned in Revelation. There is a premillennial, which is the one that we just talked about, where all of these things actually occur. There is something called amillennial, which is where it is not to be taken literally. And then there is postmillennial, which means that basically the world is going to correct itself to the point that it becomes like the period of the 1,000 years, and then Christ is to return and reign. Most people are not believing that theory anymore, simply because the world just keeps getting worse and worse, and it seems like we're getting closer to the point of no return. But some people still do believe the amillennial, where they believe that this is not a literal event of things to happen. The reason that we can assume that this is not something to be taken, this is something to be taken literal, is that Jesus has all of these, or God has all of these unfulfilled promises to the country of Israel. These are promises that have not been fulfilled yet, and I'm going to read through this paragraph with you so you can get a better idea. But when Jesus comes back to reign for that period of 1,000 years, these promises are, according to Revelation, are going to be fulfilled. Or maybe not confirmed in Revelation, but confirmed in some of those verses that I gave you to read. Okay, so this here says, this is from the notes in the book. It says, "Israel will finally have and hold forever the full dimensions of the land promised to her," found in Genesis 15:18. "Her people will be a blessing to all the earth as they offer their capital as a place to come worship and learn about the true God," Isaiah 2:1-4. "And lastly, she will finally be known as a spiritual nation, each citizen having a new heart and personal covenant relationship with Messiah," Jeremiah 31:31-34. So I personally believe that it is a literal event of 1,000 years where all of these things are going to happen, because I do believe in the prophecy of the Bible, and I do believe that God does have these promises to Israel that he does plan to fulfill. So back to the judgment, there are some deeper things that we can get into and discuss that are really interesting, but the basis is that after the 1,000-year period, all of the dead and all of the living will be judged. The believers who believe in God are already saved. I believe that they are only going to be judged for their works, as far as like what they've done. So they will be judged for a reward, in a sense. Probably the more that they've done on earth, the bigger their reward will be. But nonetheless, they're all accepted into heaven because they accepted Jesus as their Savior and they believed in God. Those who are unsaved are going to be the ones who face the white throne judgment, and that is where they are going to be, you know, if they're not saved, they're going to be sent to hell. It says in the Bible that they're given a chance to explain themselves and to justify themselves, but nonetheless they are still condemned, which is really sad. That the study of Revelation is supposed to be something to encourage us to witness to everyone that we know, to save anyone that we can from that horrible fate. And it is pretty sad and scary. So I hope that this encourages you. It does encourage me some, but then I just, you know, go back to my old way of thinking and put it off. I hope that this video wasn't too terribly rushed. If I can wrap this outro up, then I will have finished this video before the battery dies. I am glad that I got it out there though. I have one more lesson to go through and then we will be finished with this series. And then I may come back and do a review lesson. I'm not sure yet. I really want to, but at the rate that I'm going, it will probably take another 2-3 weeks. And I sincerely apologize for not getting these videos up on time. I really hate that. It's harder than I thought it was to stay on top of 2 videos a week, let alone do Bible lessons throughout the week and post videos about them. Even though these are supposed to be the easier videos because I can just sit down and talk to you guys. But I'm trying to work really hard on staying on top of Bible study and staying in the Word, and that is one of the challenges that I face. If you face any challenges, please let me know in the comments. I would love to chat about it, and hopefully I can get my next series going. I haven't done any more studying in the Bible like I had planned. I've only still done Genesis chapter 1. So far that's not looking so good. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video and hopefully in the next series of Bible study. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.